feeling the draft. Chicago gets the victory, which you're saying, well, you should try to lose. Well, of course, they own Carolina's number one pick, which at the moment would be the number one pick. So currently, 1 and 4, some draft capital. We got some decisions to make when we get to the spring. Ryan Clark is with us, and Bears offense unable to score a touchdown. Doesn't matter, they win the football game. But in terms of that last drive, and I just hit you with that stat, like Brian Flores, he blitzes more than anybody. 59% of the drives they blitz tonight, then they don't. You play defense. You've been playing one style of defense all night. Now all of a sudden you don't. I just wonder, if you're hearing these play calls, are you wondering, why aren't we going after this man?
Hell yeah, like these are the conversations that you would have with a Coach LeBeau or Brian Flores and say, Coach, this is what we do. We've been heating him up all night. And if you think about the plays that they were able to make in the second half, it was because they were able to speed Justin Fields up, force him outside of the pocket. The Danielle Hunter forced fumble in the pocket was because they blitzed off the edge. And so for Brian Flores to play soft defensively the way he did on the last drive, I really didn't understand it.
So they go into the bye, they being Minnesota. The Bears do as well, but Minnesota's at 6-6, and they're going to get Jefferson back. Justin Jefferson is going to be back almost certainly coming out of the bye against the Raiders. But now we go into the bye, and this Joshua Dobbs story that's just been undeniable, and everyone's rooting for him because he's such a wonderful young man, including everybody that's sitting on our set, you and me. But this is a night where, if we're not being, I don't think we're being cruel, I think we're being honest in saying that there's a reason why the man's been on all these teams, and there's a ceiling, is there not? Like, I mean, you can win games, but can he lose you games too, is what I'm asking.
What's unfortunate about it is you realize you have to win in spite of him sometimes. And the reason and the way you find franchise quarterbacks is because you win because of them. And it seemed like Josh Dobbs, when he initially became the starting quarterback, he was able to figure out ways to make plays with his legs. He found the soft spots in the zones, or was even able to manipulate man-to-man coverages. But as he's gotten more ingratiated into the offense, it's also given teams opportunities to study the film of Joshua Dobbs, and I believe he's being attacked in that way. And we do have to remember, this is a guy that was 1-7 in Arizona. We just thought they'd be so bad that getting anything from Joshua Dobbs and that team made you feel a glimmer of hope that he could be the guy.
Right, and if you go back, and Adam Schefter made this point on Monday Night Countdown, like they started off and you're like, wow, Arizona's actually really competitive. That's kind of surprising because maybe we don't think that they're necessarily trying to be competitive. And then, as I believe Adam said, they traded him for a ham sandwich. And ham sandwich can be good, by the way.
Hey, and if it's like that leftover Thanksgiving ham too, that's different.
Right.
Man, you put it on like one of them rolls, it's a whole different sandwich.
Talk to Steve about that. Like, we bond over that kind of sandwich. But just, I think this gives Minnesota a chance to hit not the reset button on what they're doing with the quarterback, but just take a deep breath and say, all right, how do we put him in a position, again, coming out of the bye, to win us games, not lose us games?
Yeah, and I think for this team, you have to find a way to get Jordan Addison back involved in the offense. If you remember, when Justin Jefferson initially left, Jordan Addison took a big step up. I believe it was here one night, and you had an opportunity to speak to him after the game. How do they get him back in that point where he can be a focal point of this offense along with T.J. Hockenson?
Well, I mean, I think getting Jefferson back only frees him up because he's going to capture all the attention, and that allows maybe some and
also, too, when you have a guy like Justin Jefferson, it makes quarterbacking a little bit easier.
Understood. He's as good as there is. Ryan, we appreciate you as always.
You, my man.
Great to be together.